Okay. All right. So we're live. Hello, everybody. Probably just me and you right now. So
That's okay.
we've just been talking right now. This is
Oh,
Kate. Kate, what would you like me to refer? Like you've got this long name in
I
Twitter,
do.
but what would be best to refer to you as?
Kate is fine.
Kate.
The RGR is
Uh-huh.
short for Rowan Ginger Raven, which is my very long time now, alias
Okay.
on the internet,
All right.
because being so distinct looking, like I look like I'm not going to be on camera. It's the morning. Give me a break, guys.
No problem. No problem.
But that's my alias I've had for a long time because
Uh-huh.
I'm very distinct looking, and I figured anonymity would just never work out for me. So I came up with a thoughtful name referring to a favorite plant, which is a rowan tree or mountain
Mm-hmm.
ash, ginger because I'm a ginger, and raven because that's my favorite animal. So there you go. And then the DED
Right. What does
is
that
my
stand for?
business. And I had
Oh,
this
of
pointed
course.
out had this pointed out to me that like it says dead. Like
Yeah, but that
shortly
kind of
after
works.
starting it. But it works for me
It
in
works,
my
does. Yeah.
aesthetic. Yeah, it's
Yeah, definitely.
hilarious. So Dark Entries Design, and Dark
Okay.
Entries is a song by the Bauhaus, who,
Uh-huh.
if you're familiar with Bela Lugosi's dad, like most people, that
Right.
is what it's one of their songs. It's that band,
Okay.
one of their songs. They got their name from the Bauhaus movement, which is a furniture architectural artist movement in the very early 20th century, and it was a precursor, if you will, to
Right.
mid-century modern. So they were
Okay.
very influential to people like Ray and Charles Eames. There are a lot of scholars that would insist that Charles was a Bauhaus, even though he didn't go to school there. I don't even know if he
Uh-huh.
ever visited Germany, but that's just how that has transcended over the years.
All right.
So it kind of this full circle, very esoteric name referring to music and furniture and design and things that I love. So that's the
There you
name.
go. Okay, because I always, whenever I studying, whenever I was in college, I studied graphic design and illustration, and the first thing I thought of when I saw your name was I just immediately think RGB, but then I look at it again. Oh no, it's RGR, and
Yeah.
it just took. There we go. All right, but it's lucky how that worked out though. The whole dead part that kind of fits the whole aesthetic of what you've got going on there. Uh,
It's funny.
Speaking of which, is it okay if I share your site here real quick?
Of course.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's gonna be popping by soon, but if they do, I just want to kind of look at it while we're speaking here. So when did you? So this is Dark Entry Design,
Mm-hmm.
and when did you like make this site? How long have you been working on this for?
It's been a process making the site.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
totally DIY'd it myself with help from professionals. I just kind of picked the brain a little bit and got the free information they are comfortable giving, and it was very helpful. So it's been 3 years, an extra months that I started doing it.
Okay.
Very, very slow process.
Right.
But if you click through it, not just on the homepage, which has everything you need to contact me, like
Uh-huh.
connect, you
Mm-hmm.
can learn more and you'll learn about my process. Or if you're interested, if this is enough to sell you, you can
Mm-hmm.
just book right now and we'll start a project. And then, of course, the social links at the bottom there,
Okay.
all
You got your
kinds.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube,
Yep,
Pinterest. What's the in
Twitter.
for?
The in is in LinkedIn, which
Okay.
is nope. I think I'm echoing on myself. My mic's warmed up. Haha.
Oh
There we go. Better?
yeah,
No,
this
I
sounds
don't know.
fine. Yeah, you're sounding great there.
Okay. But yeah, LinkedIn is an interesting experience.
Yeah, I've never used it. I remember getting a lot of mails from friends and
hmm
acquaintances back in the days for LinkedIn, and I just never. I didn't
Yeah,
know
I did
exactly what
it.
it was for.
Yeah, I did it just for this because it's
Hmm.
I generally interior design, even virtual interior design, is still a luxury service.
Right.
So there's a level of cost that the average person might be skittish of, However,
Mhm.
in the long run, having someone hold your hand professionally so you
Right.
get all the right things on your time versus having all these Pinterest flops is
Yeah.
going to be cost effective.
All right. Yeah, I remember last time we talked a bit. Like before, whenever it is a little difficult to draw and do artwork and to invest yourself within the conversation completely.
Mm-hmm.
So you were telling me a lot of information, but I really wanted to go through it all again and kind of just have you promote what you're doing, go through the process of how you work with your clients, just so if maybe somebody really wants to know what exactly you're trying to sell here, what your
Mm-hmm.
whole line of work is, they can come back to this video and maybe hear you from the horse's mouth, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So
yeah.
you can click the learn more and we'll start a bit of a process, I suppose. And
Okay,
I'll
hold
do
on a
that.
second here.
So
All
learn
right.
more. We'll click
Okay.
that. And so process. This is like I have my shop process services book, home portfolio about blog up in the corner there. But are we a match? So are you a new homeowner? Plan to be or building your dream home? Do you have a specific budget for design and furniture you need to stay on top of? I have a design plan for you. And then they carry on with other things. You enjoy DIY? Are you an avid collector of things? So feel free to learn more about my services and call now. So first step, here's the fun part. First step.
Right.
So you can take my design survey, tell me about yourself and your space, and we can start a conversation. And then we can have a more in-depth conversation with a consultation
Mm-hmm.
where you give me more information, like the actual measurements of your space, the more in-depth needs and wants you have, what is unique to you, what are your unique interests, like you really have to have this one thing. You don't know how to make XYZ things of yours you love look well together because they're so different. So that kind of consultation, and then the concept. So on the concept, we'll be getting a good conversation going more in depth. I will demonstrate, like we'll have back and forth about what kind of plan you need. Like I have
Right.
different, and I'll click that. I have different plans because some people just need help picking paint. Some people need an
Mm-hmm.
entire new room.
Yep.
And so there's many options, and we'll go back and forth with products and different looks and narrow it down. That's what we'll do. We'll narrow it down. And then you'll get your provided rendering or mood board, vision board, and specs and information, details, suggestions. And that's really all this is at the end of the day. It's a consultation, it's suggestions. The person is the one doing the work. The
Mm-hmm.
client
Mm-hmm.
is taking this plan and putting it into action, and they will, with the goal of them feeling like they did it all on their own, so that they can, when someone asks, "Well, this is beautiful. How did you do this?" Yeah, I did it all myself, and I appreciate y'all saying I help, but you
Yeah.
don't have to,
All right.
I
Right. Right.
suppose. So,
You're like the counselor behind the
oops,
scenes, and
oh
they can
no, my leg's
show.
broken. That's okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
And that kind of stuff
well,
happens.
it does. Woo, so professional.
Sometimes I have my own web page as well, and it's nothing even compared to this. But I'll
Oh,
click on a link sometime, and it'll be like this page is down, like just randomly. It just
oh
happens
yeah,
sometimes. I have no
it
idea
does.
why.
So
But
free discovery call,
uh,
kind of like what we're doing right now. It's just like a discovery
okay,
call. We're just
right,
obviously we'll have more conversation beyond 50 and 30 minutes. So take the design survey. We'll
right,
click that. Hopefully this one works. There we go. So your name, email, video, call, date. How you want to talk.
okay,
And then the fun stuff is like, what do you have a budget in mind? And like, is it like in this area? So on average, if you are going to be doing your whole living room, it definitely will be over $10,000
wow,
because
mm-hmm.
if you need a new sofa, a new sectional, new chairs, new everything, that's a
Uh-huh.
lot of product. Now, if you
Yes,
just need a paint color,
right,
then it's going to be, you're paying mostly for the consultation of the paint, the professional insight. Do you know what space you're starting with? So, like different rooms, bonus room. Do you know the size, approximate
Hmm.
size? And this get the specifics of these things, obviously. Now, the fun one is like, what kind of style you want? And most people I'd anticipate would say unsure or other.
Right.
And that's what
Uh-huh.
our conversation will be. But eclectic, mix of various things, modern, clean, minimal, mid-century modern, 50s to 70s furniture, contemporary. I should probably like update that because at this point in time, now that we're 21 years into this century, I should throw in, because I went shopping with a client,
Yeah.
and I saw all this very 80s furniture, and like, wow, like,
Yeah, I saw you post some pictures about
I did.
that.
I
Yeah.
was very amused by it, and it wasn't ugly or
Right.
anything. It's just very 80s. So,
Yep.
and it's one of those things where, to me, when I say modern,
Uh-huh.
in reality, it is mid-century modern.
Okay.
When most people say modern, they mean contemporary. They mean what
Right.
is popular right now.
Okay.
Versus, so that's the funny thing about the English language that we always have to deal
I've
with.
actually got a little story about modern. Whenever I'm like, I live in Japan, as probably most of the people on Twitter, what have you know. But when I was in college, I took a modern Japanese history course, and I was thinking, oh, it's modern, so it's gonna be talking about modern history, I guess this century, what have you. And apparently, modern in that sense means since they could write.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was from the Jomon period, which is basically when they had, they found pottery with little inscriptions on it. And that, from that
Oh,
point, that's like modern
wow.
Japanese history. So that was a bit of a
Well,
shock to me.
but I mean, that's worth knowing. That's like, because
Yeah.
I went to an art school for high school,
Hmm.
and we had to have art history credits to graduate. And
Right.
I did prehistoric to Babylon, basically,
Oh,
was
yeah.
that
That's nice.
one semester. Yeah, and it's so
Yes.
much information. It's
It
so
is. It's got
crazy.
to be.
And then the next semester, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go do history of rock and roll instead, which I did, and it was a lot more fun for me. Because
History of rock
obviously,
and roll. They have a class on that?
yeah, well, it was a
Oh,
made up
man.
class. It was a great school. I loved my high school.
No, this was high school?
That was high school.
I would have killed to have a class like that in high
I
school.
know.
That's
I
awesome.
know. It was.
Oh, man. We
But,
what like a little bit of a tangent. Well, still like the whole rock and roll thing. When I was in college, we had all these elective courses. These I don't know. There's like courses that you had to take for a certain kind of whatever for your degree. And so I took, what was it? Latin. What was it? A Latin music appreciation course.
yeah, that's fun.
And there was another guy in there, and both of us were really into heavy metal and stuff, like hard rock. And we got paired up. We had to do a presentation at the end of the year to graduate from that course. And the two of us got paired up together, just like coincidence. And we're like, okay, we have to do a presentation on Latin, Latin music or what have you. And we're both looking at each other like, yeah, let's go like heavy metal on this. So we got like Sepultura. Who else did we do? Like we found a couple of them were bands. I can't remember. It was so long ago. And we made our own CD, like with a compilation of our favorite heavy metal music inspired by, like Sepultura and other Latin-based heavy metal groups. And we did like a presentation in front of the class. Now that was fun. That sounds like cool. What you did in high school, huh?
Kind of. Yeah. We never, like, I had to do a report on different bands. So one semester I did Concrete Blondes, who most people know for Joey, or what's another one they know? The quote unquote vampire song. It's actually called Bloodletting, and it's in Interview with a Vampire somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's them. And then the other one I did was Mad Season, which is so incredibly underrated. It's just this jam garage band medley like thing with Lane Staley doing the vocals, different but it's different from Alice in Chains. And then it has guys from Screaming Trees, and I think another person from Pearl Jam, and there's like one other band, but then someone abruptly OD'd, and they only have one album out with that. Yeah, I know it sucks.
Yeah,
and
a lot of those guys had the bad habit of ODing, didn't they?
Oh, I know. Yeah, like Rick Lane.
Yeah.
but yeah, so he's like, it's so funny because everyone knows him for Alice in Chains, but he's
Uh-huh.
so amazing.
Yeah, I've been going through a little bit of like going back to the whole the grunge scene or what have you. I've been playing
Mm-hmm.
like a bunch of Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains lately while I've been doing
Yeah.
my art. Just try. I don't know. You got to find that certain vibe, that certain aesthetic to the music kind of brings you to a certain place, and that place right now is it's just like the whole grunge scene back then. Been listening to, but
I
you have definitely got like your knowledge of music is like 1,000 times mine. I wish I could just input what you
I
have
don't
there.
feel right. Well, I don't feel like I know all that much. Like I know people who know more than I do, and it is super fun talking to them about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
I just want to pick your brain.
exactly. That's what I want
It's
to do.
like,
Just
you
like
know, all these things I know nothing about. Please tell me more.
yes, yeah. That's one of the main reasons I'm doing this kind of stuff. I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know who else I'm going to speak to on here, but I just see like what you're posting on Twitter. I'm like, man, she's got like there's a plethora of information in there that I think other people should be hearing about more often. And it's obvious that you're able to apply this to your designs as well.
Mhm.
So, speaking of which, just on another little tangent, because I do that quite often. What was your well, actually, let me go ahead and let you go finish through this, and then I'll ask that question afterwards.
Oh, yeah. So there's just
Yeah,
more questions like
yeah,
what furniture are you keeping?
uh-huh.
Do you have hobbies? Do you have kids? It's really normal, boring stuff. And then my terms and conditions, because this is
Oh,
a
before we go on to
consultation.
terms and conditions, you're
Yeah.
saying it's just normal stuff, but how does that help you whenever you're doing your should I call it consultation?
Yeah. I mean, this is what
Okay,
this is about.
all right.
Well, depending on your hobbies, it definitely
Uh-huh.
would determine on like what size TV do you have? Do you have a TV at all? If
Okay.
you have kids, how much
Mhm.
storage do you need in this room? Do they have
Right.
their own playroom versus like is this your office so they never
Right.
go in it?
Right.
Other like do you entertain a lot? So do you need storage for glassware and
Uh-huh.
bartending things? Do you have guests overnight often? So do you need a
Right.
sleeper sofa or a guest room to
Right.
renovate? And like pets is a big one because
Hmm.
that'll determine the kind of fabric. Like if you have pets that shed,
Okay.
then you
Yep.
might want to gear towards leather because it doesn't
Okay.
absorb smells as easily and it's easier to clean and it's not as clingy. Obviously, like
Right.
these days, velvet is it's like kind of sort of fake velvet is very popular. It's
Hmm.
very lodgy and very men's club look, but has these like feminine shapes. So it's very interesting to see develop over the last 4 years.
Right.
But fur will cling to it, so we got to make
Okay.
that choice.
Right.
So
Well,
other
this
like
seems like some very important information on me, because it seems like it has a lot to do with what your the
hmm
final decision that you're going to make here. I don't know if I actually did this survey previously.
Oh,
Did
I don't
you
remember.
see? Okay, so that's what happened. Is I tried to send it and I was having trouble sending it
Oh,
through. I don't have you. Has anybody else filled out the survey for you?
I have, yeah, but not
Okay,
recently.
okay,
So
because
maybe there's some kind of glitch or update.
there could be, because I tried to do it. I believe it was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
When you put a link to this, it might have been more than that. But
Oh, that might have been something else. Like here I can just scroll down here all the way down
okay,
because that's all my other stuff. What it may have been was actually just this survey, which is a let's have a chat connection survey. So this
that's what
is
it
just
was.
like this is just research and development questions. So these
Okay.
are different.
Oh
How
no,
do you
no.
describe
Oh yes,
yourself?
this was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the
Yep.
one. Yeah.
And this is just research and development. So I
Okay.
did
Okay.
good that one, I'm sure, and I kind of have
Uh-huh.
it tucked away, and I appreciate
All right.
all the help from anyone willing to just kind of let me pick your brain instead
Gotcha.
of asking about what kind of space you want. I want to
Uh-huh.
just know more about you
I got
and
you. All right.
what kind of choices you make and how I can help perhaps persuade you to hire me.
There you go.
Basically.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I remember filling that out, and
Yep, that
I
was that
sent
one.
it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Great.
And then here's just my free discovery call
Mm-hmm.
consultations, $100 for an hour. And I
Mm-hmm.
know it sounds like a lot, but guess what? Here's the reality. majority of interior designers will charge you at least $200 to $500 for a consultation, because and it's going to get more expensive with people being very conscientious of their health. So
yes.
the thing with this is it's a phone call for an hour. It may go a little longer, and that's okay. I'm not going to complain. I understand people are conversating, and it's like getting to know you. I want to know all the things more in depth than the survey. And that's why it seems expensive up front, but most designers, they roll that into their, like the white glove, if you will, designers, the IRL, they roll that into their overall fee. But this is just a little teeny tiny bit of my fee, because my fee is flat rate based on site plans, based on square footage. So if we're all in, you need everything new and fresh, and you have just bought a house and have no furniture. So per room, $20 per square feet. So I know it sounds like a lot, but you're getting a shopping list, color palettes, in floor plans, everything, all in.
Wow.
All you need to do is put the plan into action. You just need to buy the stuff. You just need to put the stuff where it goes and enjoy. And that's task. I get it. That is. But the hard part is making sure it looks nice. And that's what I'm here for. Then it's just different tiers going down. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Then it's just smaller and smaller tiers. So you get a little less detailed rendering. It's more of like a mood board that's a little in depth. A floor plan and suggestion shopping list. And then if you just need a shopping list with a little mood board, $10 per square foot. Or just like priority one is literally you just need to find the right color. You just need to find the right sofa. $5 a square feet. And with paint, I'll be generous, and I understand you're not painting your floors unless you're painting your floors. So it feels like square feet might be kind of daunting, but we can have a discussion on that. No problem. Gotcha. So, and then Death Star lamp on the Gucci table.
There we go. Yeah.
Isn't that the most amazing villainous thing ever? It is.
It's awesome. It's so that's one thing I did all like the printmaking classes, the graphic design classes, watercolor, acrylic. But when it comes to 3D, just imagining the way that those work within the 3D realm, it's completely beyond me. I just really, really admire anybody who come up with these kind of designs. It's awesome.
I guess that is kind of a different thing to be doing, but it's really just a collage. This is literally a collage, and it's perspective and layering images over top each other.
Right.
Now a 3D rendering, it's all the coding that I'm not doing. I'm just plopping a piece down and putting it in a convenient, pretty spot and explaining that, these colors can go together if you know this, and this. So that's a little different. It's not like SketchUp is probably the most involved, terrifying program I've ever heard of in my life, because those people not only construct things, they have to have a big fat gaming computer to be able to render that line drawing into reality, to a realistic, very realistic image.
Yeah, I do outside of artwork. I dabble in some woodworking as well.
Oh, that's fun.
So I build a lot of like tables and drawers and shelf cabinets and this and that. And they have this program, and I just it's kind of like that. It's kind of SketchUp. You design your whole project on your computer, and then you print that out, and then those are basically like your blueprints, your work sketch. What do they call them? Your specs, your work specs for your project. I just haven't been able to. I'm that kind of guy. I'm like, hey, I've got this piece of wood. I'll just put it together and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that. I like a more natural approach to that kind of stuff too.
All right. Wow. This is amazing. Hey, what's up, Brightest Day.
Hi, Brightest Day.
How's it going, man? I always want to say brightest for day because I see that 4 in there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, he's always popping in the chat, giving likes here and there. He's a good guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever
Also,
streamed with him before?
I don't know if Bryce Day has ever streamed, to be honest, because it's hard to keep track of a lot of people.
He did. He built like a Gundam the other day.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
Yeah,
he
like
did that.
yeah, it was 2 days ago, I believe. So I popped over there, and I just was it yesterday or all this whole week just seems like one long day.
It does. It's weird. It's a weird week, but and then I have a blog because that's super fun.
Okay.
Interzone, also a song title, and a word that means like the weird gray areas on borders. Generally nautically, but you can be on land too, I suppose. So it's just I use stock images because I'm a lazy fuck.
Hey.
So yeah, and this one's like super fun. Summer lookbook, little mood board of things you can buy right now if you click it and go shopping on a website.
Look at that table right there.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's nice.
It is.
I had one of my students, she's commissioned me to make her a table, like not a really huge one, but just kind of like an end table. And I've yet to make that. And I want to do something in that sense where we just don't, it's really hard to get hardwood here in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a bunch of softwood. So I really want to work with some like walnut or oak or maple or stuff like that. But to get a piece literally that's, the size of a piece of paper for walnut at our local, a local store will cost you about $35.
Wow. I mean, it's imported, so that's crazy.
Yes, it's all imported. Yeah. So I really would love to go back to the States and dabble in woodworking there because I know there's just so much more material to work with, and I'm really limited here. But yeah, that's beyond the fact. Yeah.
You could. That's ironic that you'd like end up retiring and doing that.
I would not. It's definitely like I'm a complete zen when I'm in the wood shop, like working. Like time just flies by. I'm at the same kind of comfort level and at peace whatever I'm drawing or painting and when I'm doing woodworking. It's just fun. It doesn't feel like work at all.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. I mean, that's what I was always told. If you're having fun's the important part. So.
Yeah, if you're having fun doing what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, those lovely tropes. I mean, it's true. Wow, that's nice. I have other, this one that's in the blog, and then a couple other from the same convenient site that you do have to sign up for if you're going to do it. And I understand that's not your thing. I do have pre-made sets from that same website. So you can just buy this living room, this office, this bedroom. That's all linen. And it is cheaper to do this. You just buy it like right now. But you're going to have to look at the measurements and hope they work for you because I provide them. But, you're going to have to double check for yourself. And,
now, if they do, are you sponsored by anybody, any of these companies that you...
what do you mean by sponsored?
Like you refer people to, I guess, these, the places where they could purchase these items at.
Yeah. With this, with Side Door, which is where these are from, and the ones at the top, that it is an affiliate website. So if you purchase this bed frame, I will get a cut.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Same with Amazon stuff. So all this fun, and that's the thing about Amazon. It's like everyone thinks of it for buying that annoying office supply you forget to buy, but they do have really cool and really nice things. Like these are expensive speakers. This is an expensive Danish brand. Tove, I don't remember. I think it's American, but they're like a upper tier furniture company. Some handmade.
Look at that skull there.
Yeah, I think that's handmade. Nice. It's really cool.
That looks cool.
Alessi, which is an Italian designer company that they contract out architects and other designers to make things. This is I think Tony, was it Tony? No. What's his name? Neat. I don't remember. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a very iconic look. Herman Miller.
Yes, Herman Miller.
Is significant name, and that's
Mhm.
one of their office chairs.
Right.
Other fun things, bottom with their version of a Chemex. I like that it had leather
Uh-huh.
instead of the black leather instead of the
Ooh.
brown leather.
It looks like what is it called? The thing that you put on your body?
A belt.
No, yeah, to to the ladies used to wear it back in the day. I believe you
Oh, a
have one.
corset. Yeah, yeah,
Corset.
yeah,
Darn it.
corset. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it looks like a corset.
It
Yeah,
does.
with
That's
the
that. I
whole
didn't think of that, but it's
yeah, with this whole
it's
shape of it.
yeah. But
Mhm.
the Chemex is the original pour over coffee like this. This is just a
Mhm.
more contemporary, cool version. And
Right.
Stelton's a great older brand too, with very contemporary looking
Okay.
products. Like all their stuff, even the 50-plus-year-old products, still look very contemporary.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they can.
Uh, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Mhm.
I always butt in on you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So yeah, you can always, if you're gonna browse Amazon, you can do so through my website and give me a cut of that.
Great.
Because
Great.
yeah, and keep in
Uh,
touch for my newsletter. I don't use.
it seems like there's a lot of intricate parts going on here. This webpage, and just by yourself, it seems like it could be a lot to keep it all organized. Do you have anybody who assists you, or is it this a solo
No,
thing?
it's just this. This is just me. I use
Uh-huh.
Squarespace, and they make it very easy. So this is just plug and play. It really
Okay.
is, and I appreciate that they're very efficient.
Right.
So, like, the difficult part is getting people to my site and staying on my site and making a
Right.
purchase, not building the site. If that was difficult, I would hire someone.
um, let's see. I wanted to go back to.
Mhm.
Um, hold on a second. All right. I was thinking of. Okay, I think I've thought of the wrong person here, but you showed me Herbert Miller. Herman Miller. Herman Miller.
Herman
Sorry.
Miller. Yep.
I was thinking of Herbert Bayer.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Herbert Bayer? Or am
I
I getting
don't
the
think
names
I
wrong?
do.
Who was the guy that designed the Lucky Stripes cigarette?
I
That
don't know.
that could have been. Oh, sorry. I think
I'm
it was
very
Herbert
much a
Bayer.
novice. Yeah, I'm very much a novice with graphic
Okay.
designers. Like, I know the big names, and that's about it. So, like, uh, Paul
Yeah.
Rand, excuse me, and Tom Wolfe, and
Right.
not an association with Tom Wolfe,
Right.
and Saul Bass, and yeah.
One of my favorite. One of my professors back in college. He was our graphic design. We also had to take typography class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was huge into like we had to do all kinds of reports and research and all this
Oh
about
yeah.
all of the typographers. But one of my favorite was Gil Sans. I don't know if you've probably seen the font somewhere. Gil
Oh yeah.
Sans.
If it's Sans, yeah.
Yeah.
If that's
Uh,
the I'm partial to Futura, which is
uh-huh.
actually a Bauhaus design, and that's what I use. And then Helvetica, the story behind Helvetica is pretty amazing. People
Right.
have no idea how significant that font is. Um,
Right.
so that's like I did take in high school because that's so relevant. I have a graphic design class that I was kind of like we kind of went through the history of things casually and then did things by hand and then did things on a computer and kind of developed an understanding of what graphic design is. It was fun. We
Yeah.
didn't go into depth like you probably did though.
It was so long ago though. We had to study all of like a bunch of the creators. Eric Gill was the guy who created Gil Sans. More so than Gil Sans, to actually typeface itself. Like just looking at him as an artist as well. A lot of things that he
Mm-hmm.
designed were really cool. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've forgotten most of those names and what I studied.
Oh yeah.
So, what was the Helvetica story again?
Helvetica? Well,
Yeah,
it's
because I
what
know
was
I've
it from
forgotten it.
Austria? I think it was Austria. I think. So it was came up with in 1957, and I only remember that because that's the year my dad was born.
Okay.
and and so that became the trademark font used by all sorts of companies, from Sears to
Hmm.
Walmart to everything.
Yeah.
That's what they use. To
Yeah.
this day, that's what they use.
Right.
Now there is pushback on its significance because it's so structured and so passe after a
Hmm.
certain point that things became very elaborate and psychedelic. And obviously, having been a thing before the 60s, there was that urge to be different from that by the
Right.
time
Right.
after like 10 years. But obviously both have kind of endured in their own ways and have made their own impacts. And it's interesting to see that a font would make such a difference. But if you go
Hmm.
and look at 40s advertisements,
Right.
they use a lot of calligraphy like lettering, and
Uh-huh.
most of this stuff was probably done by hand and then on a typewriter, which has Times New Roman-ish fonts. So mostly that you're being sold an illustration
Hmm.
versus the font selling you. But after Helvetica, I would say, in my opinion, that it was really the font that got you versus the illustration of the product. Not always. There are things out there that definitely, yep,
Yeah.
that definitely still have a significant illustration background that, or they just a significant illustration, and that is what sells you. Like most mid-century modern artists, like I would say, if they're in advertising versus Andy Warhol-esque,
Uh-huh.
that's where the money really was in advertising, and that's where the real talent was in advertising.
Okay. Wow. All right. Oh, whoops! I've lost your screen there.
Oh, I did that. I thought it's fine.
Oh, sorry, sorry. I was gonna just like toggle back and
Go back
forth.
and forth. Oh, okay.
No, that's fine.
Ah,
I mean, it's up to you.
there. Yay, Purdy.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Very
keep that up
easy.
there.
So.
Nice. Yeah, again, this is awesome. Just being able to mess around with all this stuff back here. This could get really addictive. I could see why a lot of people are out here streaming a lot. It's um
Yeah, I mean
yeah, you know your
it's
stuff.
like thank you. It's
Yeah.
definitely like
Yeah.
going to a bar. That's pretty much it.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
how I think most people should approach
Yep.
streaming. It's like it's your own, you are Sam
Yeah.
Malone, and you should treat everyone like you
Right.
would.
It's I think it's one of the being over here for a long time. You know, I've been over here for about 20 years now, and it's difficult to, especially for like foreigners over here, to really make that strong relationship where you could have in-depth conversations with people. It's not as easy as you want it to be. I mean, I could count on a one hand amount of people I could sit down and like have a conversation like this with over here.
Hmm.
So this in a way is just a way for, I feel like the last 20 years I've missed out on a lot of stuff.
Oh.
And whenever I started, I have to give it to it. I don't want to go too much into like pop culture and everything because I'm like to keep it like around this way. But like the Last Jedi incident,
Hmm.
it brought me to a sector of the world or YouTube or what have you that I really relate with a lot.
Oh yeah.
Who I had, it was because of that I think a lot of people were able to get together. So in a way, it was kind of like a cursed blessing in a sense. I don't know,
Yes. Yeah.
but
There seems to be
yeah,
a lot of that, and a lot of that
yeah,
kind of attitude brings people together pretty quickly. I
it
mean,
does.
I've always been into political science as a hobby, which I know is a
Uh-huh.
weird, stupid hobby, but
I don't know.
eh,
It's not like you're out there like I don't know. A weird hobby would be like, I don't know, sacrificing animals to something. I don't
yeah,
know. Okay, that's a weird hobby. Okay.
that's a pretty sick hobby.
Yeah. That's what I'd be worried about. But like, no,
Yeah.
political science, I think you're okay.
So I like, after graduating high school, and I was like, I know what I want to do, but I don't know where to go to figure out how to do it. And it
Right.
took me a while. But in the meantime, I had become good friends with people through very similar means of
Hmm.
some travesty happening pop culturally, and then meeting people on the internet, and some of them I've known for almost 10 years, and they're great friends. They're people that I can count on, and
Sorry. Did you see Brian? He said, political science is a weird hobby. Me, I snap bits of plastic together.
well, I mean, to each their own, I guess.
Exactly. At least it's not just random pieces of plastic that don't make anything.
That's a good
they
point.
come into some kind of form in the end.
That's true. Like the way you say that, Brightest Day, it makes it sound like you're just putting spoons together for the sake of it. But then
like he's walking around in the. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Talk over you.
Yeah.
He's just walking around the parking lot picking up plastic things. Ooh, there we go. Which could be good.
Yes.
Hey, I'm sure that's how some
that.
artists, make a living. Apparently nowadays you don't even have to make anything. You could just go to a gallery and say, "Oh, here's my invisible object. $1 million, please." Well, that's what they did.
I'm gonna do that.
Boy.
Here's my thought process in a bubble wrapped in an enigma, and you're gonna give me $1 million for it because I am less than 1% of the human population and have great boobs.
Have what? What?
Yeah, that's right.
What? I could say that too. I couldn't about 10 years ago, but I can now.
Aw.
Just joking. Well. What were we talking about? Plastic boobs? Anyway, no. That's not.
Yeah,
one second. All right. Oh, the Guinness is kicking in, I think, maybe. Who knows?
Okay. Then you'll at least
Pics
get some
or
sleep.
did it happen, Kate?
Yeah, right. There's pictures out on the internet. I mean, I don't need to prove shit. I have an Instagram. It's okay.
Oh, speaking of which, those are some the nice makeup going on there. I like the yeah. I can't remember which one I was. I think I was more preferring the pink one. Was it?
Yeah, everyone likes the hot pink one, I guess.
That's the hot pink one. It does the trick.
Yeah,
does the trick.
Yeah. Neon. Okay, I'm a pastel, so neons look good.
Yeah, we have our. Oh, speaking of the pasty skin, the white.
I know.
Yeah,
I glow in the dark. I'm so pigmentless.
But
I got sunburned over my weekend, so I'm like horrible. But it's okay. That'll heal.
Please tell me you didn't put on any sunblock?
I did, but it was too late. I already had some parts get burned, like one side of my collarbone. Is burnt. It's funny.
Did you have the mask on and now you've only got like this white part right here?
No, I just kind of the way the trees were not shading efficiently, and that's just how it goes.
Did you get some leaf patterns on you or anything?
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be not that lucky, but it wasn't too bad. I have blisters. I have.
You got blisters?
Oh, not this time, but as a kid, absolutely.
Yes, me too.
Every couple of years.
Yep. Big ones. I lived out on the coast, North Carolina. We lived. I grew up in a place called Swansboro, and I have a vivid memory of being. I think it was about 3 or maybe 4 or 5, somewhere around that age, and I guess you could call it just a dumb part of my parents. They didn't put any sunblock on me, or maybe one was supposed to and they didn't. They forgot about it. And I had the biggest blisters ever. And I remember being in the bathtub, just cold water, just trying to soothe it. It was horrible.
Yep. No, I had I've gotten them on my shoulders. But now they just freckle, and that's fine. I hate them, but whatever. But my brother,
awesome.
I hate them so much.
What?
I do. But my brother, who's also a redhead, he would get has on a few occasions gotten blisters on his ears.
Whoa.
Because he little on the big side ears, not too bad, but so scary. And then I don't know, 5-6 summers ago, he went on spent 2 weeks on a friend's houseboat, just partying up, and next time I saw him, his back was as red as his hair. It was
oh my
bad.
gosh. Yeah.
It's like, dude, like you're gonna, and it scares me because our dad at one point, who has black hair, is like,
Uh-huh.
not super fair, but is
Right.
not brown. Had a cancer scare when we were little kids that I didn't know
Yeah.
about till I was an adult.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking, oh my God, my brother's gonna die.
Okay, a little story about cancer and us redheads. Again, back to college, first year had to take like a health PE course, right?
Mm.
And we were doing me. I was the studious type. I always got the front seat in the class. That's what I did. That's who I was. I was the nerd. Um, and we were doing we had like a lesson on cancer, and we were going through all the cancers and everything, fun stuff. And I was just sitting there diligently taking my notes, and they're like, okay, next let's go into skin cancer. And I'm like, all right. And these are the people who are most likely to get skin cancer in their lifetime. These are the qualities of the person who is most likely to get skin cancer. And there was like a big list.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there writing them down in my notebook. The first one was like fair skin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Blue eyes, yeah. Freckles, yeah. Red hair, yeah.
Well,
And I
that's not
just kind of
fair
like
because
looked up and I looked around and everybody was just kind of staring at me.
staring at you, yeah.
I was like,
But
yeah, that's
the
me.
thing is hair genes
Yeah.
are not like exclusive to skin genes. You can be brown and have blue eyes. I went to high school with a black dude who had
Yes.
black
Yeah.
parents and he had blue eyes.
I saw that you
And
put that up on Twitter today.
yeah,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
top of that, I know and have seen people who have red hair like
Uh-huh.
yours
Yeah.
and they're brown.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
I've
mean,
seen
it's not like it may not be as vivid as mine, but it's
it.
still orange
Hmm.
and they're brown. It
Yep.
happens.
Well, there's Japanese people with red hair, like not red
Yeah.
hair, but it's definitely like an auburn kind of look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's a
it's not dyed
very
either.
right. It's a very specific gene.
Hmm.
And like my dad has black hair, my mom has blonde, and they're carriers, very successful carriers of red hair.
Yeah.
So they have that gene. And when people go around
Yeah.
saying, well, I have this gene, it's like, a lot of people have that gene. It's just,
Yeah.
is it expressed? What
Right.
kind of gene is it? She's like
Right.
one of my childhood friends, her
Uh-huh.
dad, when we met, 25 years ago, her dad had red hair and now it's like dark brown because he's aged out of it. And
Hmm.
one of my cousins who's my age, he was a blonde, almost platinum blonde when he was born, and now he has black hair. So
Right.
genes are crazy like that. You
Yep.
never really
Yep.
like just to say that only this happens this way is insane.
Right. It doesn't work that way at all. Both of my parents, dark brown hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And me and my older brother, our dad's different. So he had like a different, look to him. But me and my two younger brothers, three redhead boys. And it's like, where's that coming from?
Yeah.
It was just,
well,
yeah. Just happens that way.
both my parents have aunts and uncles who had red hair,
Mhm,
had
mhm.
red hair. So, like
Yeah.
my mom's older brother
Yeah.
still does, and he's like pushing 90.
Right.
I'm serious. And her youngest brother did at one point, and then it grayed, and it darkened and grayed. So
Uh-huh.
then my dad had aunts
Yeah.
with red hair and an uncle with like twin aunts with
Mhm.
red hair and an uncle. So it's just the way it works.
It does. It jumps like a generation or two or something like that, doesn't? I
It
don't know.
seems like it.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Like my brother has blue eyes from brown-eyed parents, which is another freak genetic thing.
Yep.
But then my dad's younger brother, the middle boy, he's the third kid and middle boy, has blue eyes from brown-eyed parents also. So it's just one of those weird ass things.
Hmm. I've been finding a lot lately. Like I've been doing about like this has brought me back to just being in this community has brought me back to my love for comic books. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. Is like draw comics. I used to sit around and like draw Spider-Man and Wolverine all the time. And like I kind of lost that part of me, and I got really serious with my artwork, almost too serious, I think, to the point where I wasn't having fun with what I was doing. I was thinking too much. But just going back to doing this again has been liberating. It's felt so just it's fun again. It's just a joy to do.
Yeah,
but
it's
with all of
work too. Like it's very energetic and very. but still very like natural, which is something that no one aspires to anymore. Like they just want everything to be overt and objectifying and just tacky looking. But yours is very different than anything I've seen in recent years.
I'm not good with compliments, so I'm just gonna like go off the screen.
Neither am
here.
I. So it's okay. I mean,
that's the one thing about being an artist. Like you want people to see your work. You want people to like it. You want people to compliment, but at the same time, you're like, you can't take the compliments. It's like,
we can like
you don't know what to
at
say.
my super shitty portfolio. It's not actually that bad.
No, this is great. This is stuff I can't do. Like this is a talent that not everybody has, and that's why you deserve to get paid for it. That's why. And I have artist friends who are like, they won't sell their artwork. They'll just give it away because to them it seems like natural, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's like other people can't do what you're doing. You need to get paid for it. Like you don't go to a restaurant and get food for free.
Generally,
because they make the food because they've studied how to do it and they're good at it.
Yep.
It's their specialty, and you have your own specialty, and that's why you deserve the money.
Here's
that's
the
cool.
Fun part. Here's
Did you do these?
Drawing. Yeah, these are my drawings.
Hey, these are nice.
Super old. They're all super freaking old.
Man, I like that skull there. The first that was really cool. I like how that's a nice one too. It's fading out. This reminds, yeah. I like how that's working. And that white there's nice. Yeah.
And more random shit put together for a look. Super fun. That is the agate is actually a rug, which I think is super clever. Yeah, I know, and I can't find them anymore. It is. It was very clever. Whoever decided to do that was genius, and I hope they made a lot of money.
Have you ever made anything like this? Like, have you worked around
doing any furniture?
Like any furniture or objects, like sculptures or
not really. Like, I mean, I took pottery, like ceramics, in high school for a while, and that's the closest I suppose I got. But I am not. I just don't have a scientific or mathematically inclined mind to make furniture because there's a lot of geometry.
Yes,
and I just don't. I just don't have the mindset for that. I guess designing a rug, if it was like that, sure, but it's just abstract.
Right. Yeah, like whenever it comes to woodworking, literally, I don't use inches anymore. Over here, it's all I'm the metric system over here. I use the metric system over, but like 1 millimeter. If you're 1 millimeter off, the whole thing is just wrecked.
Oh yeah.
So it's very, very exact and precise, and I like that bed, the picture behind the bed, and that ceiling.
It'll
piece
come back around.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were doing this.
Oh no, I can, but.
Oh no, there you go. That's good. The bed.
The cowhide one, or that one?
The other one, I think.
Woo.
Yeah, that black. Yeah,
this one. Oh, that one. Yeah, that one is fun. That is cool. It's just black with a platform bed.
Yeah, I like this one too as well. I really. I'm pointing at things like you could see me pointing.
Right. Yeah, I know. That's the funniest part. That's my favorite part about streaming or playing video games with people on the internet. It's like, it's right over there. Where is there?
Yeah, you can't see what I'm pointing at.
Right. Because we talk like we're right next to each other
instinctively.
But then it's like, I'm on the other side of the world, motherfucker.
I can't see what the hell you're pointing at there. And I find sometimes, like in a cell phone, I'm like doing this on the screen, like, come on, move. Okay, I can't do that.
Yeah. Or you end up like poking something on a screen, even though it's not a touch screen. It's so funny.
Right now. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm like this far away to like starting up gaming, but I know I can't. If I do, I know I'm just going to go to like this. It's going to take up. I'm just going to concentrate on the artwork and then just push that. And then if I find some time in the future, I might try it again. I just watch like I'll watch as sometimes, like just little clips that like Gary might throw up on Friday Night Tights or what have you, or I look so fun.
Yeah, I mean, I like playing video games. I really do.
Yeah.
And I'll just do that in downtime or whatever.
Yeah.
and that's fun. But as far as like streaming that, fuck no, I could never do
Yeah,
that. I'm not good enough. It would just
right.
be me being mad at the game.
I could
So
I could probably stream Pac-Man, and that's about the extent of my abilities there.
yeah,
Waka
I
waka
get
waka.
that. But yeah, here's my shit-tastic blog post with stock images because I'm lazy. But
Dang,
this one I
gotta
think
do
was
what
a
you gotta
fun
do.
one. We'll just don't mind my long-windedness. Pretty much just shelving and collectible things. So
See,
look,
that's yeah. But those collections like that you put up on Instagram, where you showed like a little collection of things that you had, those are really intriguing. Like all of them have like a little story behind them. It seems like.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean
Yeah.
my shelf of random shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
like that's literally one little corner, and I have other
This
things tucked away in boxes. It's nuts.
this might be a personal question, and you don't have to go into it if you don't want to, but you delve into some of the more, shall I say, well, how should I say it, the darker arts or what have you?
Yeah, I guess. Like, are you asking? Do I practice witchcraft? Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not that too personal.
What's that?
It's not that personal. No worries. But yeah, I that's just like I enjoy nature and observing nature, and
Hmm.
it's for me. It's been a way to alleviate anxieties
Hmm.
and process situations better because it's I totally understand that it's comfortable for most people to just be like Christian other and the whole it's in God's hands kind of mantras, and it just doesn't work for me because
Yeah.
I'm much more physical. I wanted to see it.
Hmm.
I have to see it to believe it kind of
Right.
attitude, so that makes stuff difficult.
Have you
But
ever looked into Shinto religion?
I have. In
Yeah.
fact, I as a like I don't know seventh grade
Hmm.
when we did like religious studies, I did a report on that and remember mostly
Yep.
nothing. But yeah, I'm aware that that is Japan's native religion, and it
Yeah.
is has a lot of accidental kinship to Buddhism because they're not the same or
They're not
come
at
about.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
have like these interesting overlapping characteristics. That's completely
Yeah.
coincidental.
Hmm. Yeah, and Shinto's like it's hugely a nature-based
Mm-hmm.
religion. Like everything's a god.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really neat though. Whenever you go to the shrines just are amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll have like these big trees, and they'll find like little images within the trees that look like priests and stuff, or they'll put these big not bamboo, but tawara. Oh my gosh, how do we say it in? Oh, I can't remember how to say it in English. But they'll find like a big huge tree, and then they'll build the temple or the shrine around it.
It's like a treehouse, but different.
Well, no, if the tree is close to the shrine,
Oh, okay.
and so that's where the god is present there. It's like,
Yep.
and they have power spots everywhere too. Like,
Okay,
okay,
that
this
makes
place is
sense.
where the energy is, and
Yep.
yeah, if you go to like rice fields and stuff, there'll be little gods there in the rice fields. This is the rice field god, and you
Mm-hmm.
give it like what you may call it, shochu, or shochu is the local liquor that we have here.
Yeah,
It's made
yeah,
from
yeah. I
potatoes.
was gonna say, like, well, in most Western cultures, we give everything alcohol, but then
Right.
it's just a human thing to give
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
alcohol. It's like
Yep.
we like to party, so we'll party with you.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, man. Just finding
Yeah,
reasons to have a party.
it is. It's so true.
Now, believe me, I've traveled to many countries all over the world. I've been to India, I've been to Vietnam, Thailand, I've been to Spain, here and there. I've seen just a tons of different practices when it comes to religions and cultures. And for me, it's just experiencing all of them and learning about them, it's just a really cool part. I
Hmm.
can't say that I'm affiliated to one certain one, and a lot of people over here, they're not really practicing Buddhist, or they're practicing Shinto. It's almost like New Year's, you go to the shrine.
Hmm.
If you have a baby, then you go to the shrine or what have you. It's not something
it's all
people are
cultural.
aware of on a daily basis.
Yep, it's all just
Yeah.
a cultural phenomenon, essentially.
Yep.
So it's just it's like going to sports games. It's just what you're born in the state. This is the team you like, and
There you go. That's a great way. That's a great analogy there. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. So, yeah, I know I'm not aware exactly of all the practices that you go through or what it's all about, but I would be interested to know if you would want to.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I can here. Well, I can totally go through. I'm just kind of backdooring my. I'm not gonna pull up my own. This is my. Just a second. Okay.
Why do I take this away? Okay, let me take that away. Okay, I'm messing around with things down here too.
That's fine.
What's this? Oh, I made you small.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I made it just me. Bye-bye.
Oh no! Here, I can share a different page quick.
Yeah.
And kind of delve into different conversation. So, Pinterest, which is like the most rabbit hole thing of rabbit hole things ever on the planet.
Yes.
And it's funny because the funniest thing about them is that it started out as a wedding planner, so it's predominantly women who use this. But then they realized that we're a visual search engine that people want to shop from. So then men started getting on board a little more open-mindedly because it's shopping. And
then we ruined everything. We've ruined it all.
No, it's fine. It's had ups and downs. Like they have changed. They've had some good changes and bad changes, and changing back and forth, and it's fine. It's like a 10-year-old program now, or website, I should say. So my practice.
This is yours?
Yeah,
all
this
right.
is my stuff.
Let's check this out.
I'm not looking. I'm just logged in as my business, looking at my personal page because it's convenient. And but yeah, so a lot of Slavic and Norse, Scandinavian, and Celtic, and some Buddhism, and so I'm very eclectic, and like even like some archangel things, which is Christian kind of, but not really, because those stories are older than Christianity. But yeah, I'm very eclectic and kind of metaphysical. It's like how do you describe a metaphysical value judgment to people who aren't on the same page? Like, that's tough.
May I ask a question? What does my vocabulary has taken a big hit from being here for so long. What does what does eclectic mean again?
Eclectic, a variety, a unique variety of things from different kinds of genre. So like you would probably describe your musical taste as eclectic because you like 90s stuff, but then you also like glam rock, and then some Buddy Holly and even country or whatever. Like that's eclectic.
Okay. Very good job. I always use the word plethora, but eclectic sounds better.
Well, plethora I think is more like a verb, verb to me, whereas eclectic is more like a noun.
Okay.
It's not because plethora sounds more like an action, but that could just be. So
interesting.
Lots of sacred geometry because that's like a universal thing,
right?
For sure.
Yes.
And yoga and Bruce Lee because he's dope.
Bruce Lee's man.
He is. He's the best thing ever. Like I don't like.
Why can't we have like a Bruce Lee kind of guy right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean like, if anyone were to be the closest to a Bruce Lee kind of guy, it would be Eric July, which I know sounds like a little like God tier worship kind of thing to say, but he totally is.
The man, like Eric July's got his like he knows what's going on with his. He's got it, you know. He's got his path.
He does.
He's got his standpoint, and he's very confident about it, and he's able to express himself in a very understanding way, in which I love watching his videos, listening to him. It's just like education.
It is, and it's one of those things where like I struggle to explain something or say like, you know, how do I put this? If I'm struggling to explain something,
yes,
and it's like a metaphysical thing, I always end up pointing people to Bruce Lee, because how he
Uh-huh.
put things is very comprehensive, but
Mm-hmm.
very thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with Eric's. Like, if you don't understand what a libertarian is, like, just look at this dude. That is
Right.
literally the most
Right.
libertarian motherfucker on the planet.
There you go.
So,
I like his whole idea about the divorce thing
yeah,
with the state. Like, it just makes
yeah.
so much sense. Before I ever listened to him, I wouldn't have been able to conceive anything like that. But just
You know
listening
what?
to the argument, it's like
Yeah,
it's
and what I
obvious
think
because
is,
everything is going on now. Sorry, I'm
oh,
talking
I
over you
know.
again. Yeah, sorry.
What I think is the most interesting with that is that there are ways to do that within
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people who are proprietors of this knowledge, if you will, because it's the 10th Amendment. If you understand the 10th Amendment, you know that decentralizing federal powers can be very easy. The problem
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, with most of those people pushing for it in that comprehensive way, don't understand culture. They don't understand that saying, well, California's done all this to get rid of federal, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but it's small fry stuff. They
Right.
still have the most ridiculous gun laws, dude. Like, that's
Uh-huh.
what we need, is people to be like, you defend yourself, your property, and we're good.
Right.
But it's like, no one cares about raw milk, dude. It's not a big deal. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that kind of disconnect has been their pitfall for like their entire existence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a 10-year-old organization now. But
Right.
getting people like myself, like
Mm-hmm.
acquaintances, to understand, like, yes, this exists. Let's
Right.
have this conversation, so people
Yeah.
who don't comprehend
Yep.
what we do when talking about Eric July and how he says there's just a divorce.
Right.
But when people aren't to that level, here's how we can get them to that level.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think it's a lot of people, including myself, have just been going by and living in some kind of, uh, just taking their peace for granted, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, being in a different country is going to be very
Yeah.
different too. Like, you can watch the U.S. or UK news and be like, well, I'm here and none of that's affecting me, so I care about my family. But
the problem about cultural, I don't want to call them fads, but the things that are very popular within the States, things that happen within the culture that become, well, I guess popular or prominent or what have you, widespread, they take about 5 to 10 years and then they make their way over here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm aware that it definitely has an impact internationally.
Right.
And it's the whole, so goes California, so goes the country. And I don't think that's entirely true anymore. Because they're not just because they're losing population, but because the trendiness of California has waned drastically. And
everybody's leaving the place.
Yeah, and it's not even a new thing. Past 30, 40 years, the popularity of California has definitely waned. And it seems like Florida and the Gulf in general has become a much more popular place to be.
Right, right.
So it comes down to, well, who's going to get divorced first?
Yeah,
and,
yes.
And how will that then, what kind of trajectory will that have to combat
how will that affect
the stereotype? Yeah.
Yeah, and how will that affect America as about what I can't go into all that. I'm not that into touch, but let's talk about what you got here on screen, because I'm loving all this imagery. This is great.
Yeah, most of it is not like photos of mine or anything. It's just a menagerie of interests. Mostly things like depicting various like Sabbaths, so Litha, which is summer solstice,
right,
and Celtic, and then there's a lot of what would it be, Slavic tattoo kind of things that are cool, which no one knows that they know a lot about, which is kind of like so I think it was like handful of years ago, but I think it must have been like a bog mummy in Croatia, but it's a prehistoric, almost prehistoric Scythian mummy of a 25-year-old woman who had
I remember hearing about this.
tons and tons of
Yeah.
tattoos, and this was like the
Yeah.
most prominent and finished one. There's many others, and
Now, would this be like the Taurus?
that
Am I wrong?
would be Taurus, as in like astrology.
Yeah, well, there's some kind of
That is astrology is
the ram.
technically a run. Yeah, no,
Right.
I think that's
Right.
supposed to be a deer. But
Okay.
astrology is actually a Renaissance thing. It is not an old thing in comparison to other parts of what is considered pagan faiths and such.
Okay.
It's very much, it's like tarot cards became popular during the Renaissance.
Right.
Because it was an easy access. Cards in general were an easy access to paper, which was very difficult to get for people in poverty, and things like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting how things we associate with being very old aren't necessarily very old.
Right. I keep on finding myself like messing with my mouse here, trying to scroll up and down.
Oh,
knowing that you're in control of it.
Right. But then there's like a lot of the sacred geometry stuff that is prominent in Asian religions is also prominent within Slavic religions too. There's slight variations all up and down the border area there, if you will.
Right.
Like Russia is a little different than Bulgaria and whatnot, but generally it's all the same kind of mythos, and it's interesting. And there's like you can see like here's like prehistoric letters and rune-like things that are like runes. Like some literally are pretty much a rune, but then there's so much more going on because it's a different part of the world.
I have a character that I'm working on in a comic book, and I'm not the writer, but the writer asked me to use some of those symbols. So I actually, those are they Gaelic?
That was Scythian runes.
Scythian.
So
what is Scythian?
Scythian is like prehistoric Scandinavian, not Scandinavian, Slavic. So it's like Russia.
Right, Eastern Europe. Yeah,
Eastern Europe.
Gotcha.
So it's way different. Same, but way different. So I just read up other shit. But yeah, and like lots of mythology stuff. So Hecate and Freya and Firebird, which is everyone associates with Phoenix being a Native American thing, but it's also a Slavic thing. A Firebird has a very distinct story about getting a feather and I can't remember the whole plot off the top of my head, but yeah, it's a whole like coming of age kind of thing.
Do you see that one to the right of that? That's actually done by Musha.
Oh, okay.
The guy I was showing you last time. I believe that's him.
Is it?
That one. I believe that's his.
Painting with children. Well, I mean, this is Russian, so probably not. World War II.
Well, no, he did a lot of stuff with Russian things as well. No, this is Musha. That's Musha. Oh. I'm pretty sure it is. I remember seeing that. Maybe. Oh no, I could be wrong.
It's fair. I mean, that's not to say that it's not similar influences, but
darn it. All right,
Vasilisa is like the poster child for a character that is helped by Baba Yaga, whereas Baba Yaga generally will kill. Contrary to John Wick, which has the contemporary interpretation of the character, she generally will kill people and not just help them. But that's
may I ask a question here? I don't know anything about Baba Yaga. You're gonna have to fill me on this.
She's like, are you familiar with Hecate, the Greek goddess?
No. Okay. Oh, which one?
Greek goddess Hecate.
Hecate. I know a lot of Greek goddesses and gods, but I don't know that one for some reason.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like the crone character, underworld, war themed. Right. So generally goddess of magic and all that. So basically, Baba Yaga is the Slavic / Germanic version of that. And For the most part, she lives in the middle of the forest in a hut on chicken legs, and will either help you or, yeah, I know it's silly, will help you or kill you. And that's like a trope throughout all of Slavic mythology. It's like things will either help or kill you.
Okay.
So she's just a crone manifestation, and there's a lot of them. So like Morgan, if you're more familiar with Celtic things, she's the same kind of thing. She's a proprietor of war, observer of war, and a proprietor of death and magic and all that. So fun.
There we go. All right.
Yay, learning.
Yes, definitely. I'm gonna. This will definitely make its way into my artwork.
But then there's like a lot of fancy schmancy woodwork you probably appreciate.
Yes, definitely. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie oh darn it, was it the 13th Warrior?
I don't think so.
Antonio Banderas. He was. It takes place in like the Scandinavian area. He gets exiled from his like somewhere in the Arabia, and he gets exiled, and he goes to like the Scandinavian area, and he has to go live amongst the Vikings. It's basically it was gosh, I'm gonna get all of this wrong, but it was basically a movie. I believe the bet was made between Michael Crichton and the director about making a movie about Beowulf that was cool and fun.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot. It's got a bunch of ties in with Beowulf, but one of the images that really stood out was whenever the guy who played like the main chieftain of the Viking village or what have you, he was like the perfect Thor looking guy. I mean, he was the epitome of Thor, and he was sitting up, and they had like their house, their lodge, and the woodwork in there was amazing. I always remember seeing that woodwork and going, man. Yeah, I would like to live there. But I love listening to. I listen to Scandinavian music a lot. There's this. I can't pronounce the name of the bands, but Warunda. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's Warunda, and a couple other bands. What's that?
I said okay. I think I was familiar.
Yeah. They're really It brings me back to. I know I've got roots there somewhere. You know what I mean? With all the red hair and all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all my super fun. Stuff.
This is interesting. Really intriguing. I could definitely see a lot of this popping into. I need to look at this page. Do you have a link to this page?
I can give you the link.
Awesome.
In the private chat, not that it's private.
Oh, there's a private. Oh, look at that. There we go. This thing is so convenient, isn't it? Private chat.
It's really fancy.
Toggling between screens. I'm going to put this on a bookmark. There we go. Boom. Done. Done. Awesome. Now this is going to be some great imagery. And I need to look into, was it Baba Yaga?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's called Baba. Do you know what Baba means in Japanese?
No.
Old lady.
Oh, well, that's very convenient because that's what she is.
There you go. There you go.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Baba. But it's like a kind of a gosh, Japanese is starting to come out. It's the rude way to refer to an old woman.
Oh, so
Baba. Yeah.
Well, that's because like in Russia,
it's like a hag. It means hag, basically. Yeah.
Right, because in Russian, babushka is grandma. So
yeah,
it's kind of like
Mamushka is mom, right?
I don't know a lot of Russian, so
yeah.
But like my grandmother's Czechoslovakian, so so there's some of that kind of intertwines. So there's some words that she'd use, and it's
right.
from her dad, not because it's Russian.
Right. Yeah, I remember like with the Munch, Alphonse Munch. He, even though he was from whatchamacallit, I always go back to him because I just love his stuff. He was from what you would call it, the Czech
Oh yeah, yeah.
Republic. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had like a lot of his work dealt with Russian themes as well.
Yeah. You mean Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic? If it
Uh,
was Czechoslovakia,
Czech
a lot longer.
Republic. Czech
Okay.
Republic.
So
Yeah.
that would be like in the last 30-ish years.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to see if you did a painting of the Baba Yaga. I've seen that picture before that you just showed me. I know I've seen it before. Yeah.
Probably. It's very popular.
Yeah. All right. There we go. So back to your. So do you implement any of? Well, obviously I've seen like some of your darker kind of designs with your what should I call them? Your room
My
layout.
interior design. Oh
The
yeah.
interior
So,
design.
like, what kind of effects does this have on my
right
interior design stuff? Well, some I would say it's more like how I approach, because in reality things like feng shui are a little made up. It's more contemporary than people believe. Like, it's still a bit, around 100, 150 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like, what kind of, let's see.
Sorry.
What kind of things do, I'm trying to get to a particular post quick if I can find it. But yeah, it's like, how do you share your space and your interests and reflect things there? So here's this blog post. It's like basic, witchcraft related things, and most people.
Did you see how fast I was with that right there?
No, because I only have one screen, but you're getting the hang of it. So I mean, like most, like even Christians will use smudge sticks these days, and like mortar and pestle is like a basic kitchen thing, so that's no big deal. And then like cauldron is got a little more fanciful, with like the meaning of colored candles or like herbs and stuff.
I look at those candles and I can immediately smell them, even though I don't have anything over here. I immediately just smell those just by looking at them.
And then simple crystal things. It's like, most people will use it as decor because it looks pretty. And I have had conversations with fellow interior designers where they had a client who was very offended that they had put a crystal as decor because they associate it with evilness, even though it's a natural mineral. Yeah.
So I wouldn't associate it with evilness. That's weird.
I know. It's it takes all kinds. It really does. And being conscientious of that. So I'm very open that, I view these things as a very positive, as a way to uplift your space and to bring good energy into your space.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not knocking feng shui or anything. I get the premise. But then there are practical things. Like, you should always be facing your door when you're sleeping or you're working. You shouldn't have your back to the door ever in general. It's just like a survival mechanism. Like, if you're feeling really tense, maybe it's because you aren't facing the right direction. And then how do you balance that with wanting to have daylight in an office, but then not have your back to the door? And those kinds of things, wow, they seem really small, but they make huge impacts. And I think they're very much worth considering. And I can nag people all day, but like, until they actually move things around or take my advice and put it into action, I don't expect people to believe that per se, because it does sound kind of woo-woo-y.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's that how do you say it again? Feng shui. What is it?
Feng shui.
Feng shui. Yeah. It's evident within. I speak a lot about Japan because I've lived here for so long, but I just compare things here to what I hear, like conversations over there. But that's evident here as well. Like, you sleep in a certain direction. You don't sleep. I don't know what it all is, because to me, I don't really follow it all. There are certain things that you don't put in your house, certain plants.
Oh yeah, Absolutely. And it's like that
Yeah.
taking your shoes off at the door and having house shoes or
Yes,
yeah.
there are slippers for every single room in the house, and
Yep.
you have slippers for the bathroom. You have slippers for like the kitchen. You have you don't go into somebody's bedroom and sit on their bed. That's like a big no-no. It's like even bad even to go in and look at it.
Yeah.
There's
I
all
mean,
these.
like, and
Yeah.
there's some reasonable science to
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
while we live in a technological age, and it's very difficult to not have
Yeah.
electronics in your bedroom, but you really should not have a TV even in your bedroom.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
mean, I
Yeah.
understand most of us will have a phone as an alarm clock now, and I get
Uh-huh.
that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that really should be it because
Yeah.
your bedroom is where you should recharge and
Uh-huh.
decompress. It shouldn't
Yeah.
bring stress into your life. And I'm saying this as someone who lives in a teeny tiny space, so it's very difficult to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I
Do you
mean,
live
there
like
is
in an
logic.
apartment, like or?
It's
Well,
yeah, it's like I not well enough to and live in an expensive state with chronic life threatening illnesses, so I live with family in a little room. So
there you go.
but yeah, I mean, there's always some kind of logic behind all these little things that seem superstitious. Right. Eventually, if at least good things, at least good superstitions, I should say, valuable ones have some kind of logic behind it.
Mm-hmm. They have an origin as well.
Yeah.
It didn't just pop out of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to do this today.
Exactly. Huh? I mean, why? I don't know. What the hell? Why not?
Hey. That sounds
and everybody has to do it, by the way.
Great. That sounds much more like government than superstition.
Yes. Yeah. Man, I have some conversations with my. I don't want to get into too much about it, but it's just, it's frustrating watching everything right now.
I imagine.
Yeah, especially from afar. I mean, I'm kind of lucky not to be involved in all, but man, the people here, like everybody's, they wear masks all the time. Like people talk about it all the time, but there's not an aggressive behavior towards it. If you know what I mean.
Right, but it's something that's kind of always been anyway. Like if someone feels ill, they'll do that as a courtesy.
Yeah, well, they'll do that if they feel ill, but it's more of kind of it's a way of making people around them feel good, right? Like they're not going to get sick. But now it's gone. Like no, it's gone a huge level. Like Japan's known for people to wear masks, but it's not like that. It's never been this regimental, if you know what I mean. Like people, it's and I don't know. I don't know. It's like they won't make a decision on their own. They're looking at the states and other people and kind of following the lead. It's like, hey, you know what? Just go look at Texas and Florida and other places around the world. Like, just I don't know. I won't get into that too much because Mama Susan's listening. She's listening, right?
Right. But no, but other things that I think are fun are like, party stuff and food boards. Yeah. Because there's it's just silly stuff on Amazon. They are.
Yeah.
And it's like not much effort put, and then pretty books too. I like the donut tray. I thought that was fun.
That's cool. I like this little picnic time thing over there, but that donut tray, I could definitely see. I've got the router. I can make that. I've got like a circular jig that I made for my router where I could cut perfect circles.
Cool.
So I made a big Lazy Susan.
Oh, fun.
Do you know like how in China they have the rotating Lazy Susan tables, the big ones? I made one of those. Like I've never done it before, and that was so I made this big jig to where I could make big, huge circles. That was really fun to do.
That is cool.
Yeah. I try. So did you come up with this logo design up here?
Yeah, I did come up with it's actually a specific font.
And that looks like, okay, so I'm going to interpret your logo here. Don't tell me what, but it looks like a door opening.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to look like.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's the Time Burner is a font, so I just have the first letters of the words
Okay.
in bold, and then a little abstract doorway opening.
Uh-huh.
So
I
it's
really
an
like that. That was
entry.
my second question was what the font was, but you've
Yeah,
already answered it. Yeah.
it's Time Burner, and I got it because I specifically like the squiggly backwards
Uh-huh.
G,
Yeah. There you
which is
go.
it's such a silly thing to like. But then, like,
Ah,
as I was seeking it out, it's like I know the one thing that I want,
uh-huh.
and then it just so happened to be a very Bauhaus-esque
Hmm.
font as well, with like how
Right.
the N is and how the T is kind of like half done, and the A is a
Uh-huh.
very
Yeah,
just
I really
barely an
like that
A.
T. The T.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
very this is silly, like talking about, but fonts. I could sit down if when I was in college, we used to like friends and I, we took like the typography class together.
Hmm.
We would sit down and just look at all kinds of fonts, like, oh man, that one's so cool. Look at this. And we would
Hmm.
have to try to make our own as well.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes such a big impact on how you
Yes.
perceive a brand, like if it's going to be
Yep.
fancy or something fun, or what kind of other interpretations there may be. And I think it's interesting when people really they just can't really stick to like two or three, and they
Right.
just like to experiment, and that's great. And
Yeah.
if it works
Yeah.
for you, and if
Yeah.
it's that's relevant to your brand, then it doesn't matter. But if you have
Right.
a very structured thing going on, then you are going to want very structured brand
Hmm.
fonts that reflect your brand.
Right.
So because
What
I
would
have
you say? What is your array of fonts? How many do you think you have?
I
Uh,
actually have two. I have the Time Burner and Futura, and varying widths and well, what's the actual various weights
yeah.
and whatnot. So it's
I'm actually
um,
using the wrong terminology. It's supposed to be what's your favorite typeface.
oh, okay.
I would have gotten a bad score in typography class if I would have said font.
That's okay. Clearly, I'm fumbling over the terminology as well. But
I'm
yeah,
all over the place.
but but I stick with Futura as much as I can, or
Uh-huh.
whatever is
Yeah, it's a good
closest
one.
to it.
Yeah.
It's like Helvetica, but it's not. So
Hmm.
it has that same spirit, even though it's older.
Hmm.
So it's kind of interesting how that didn't take off, but then the other did. So
Yeah.
that's life.
There you go. Yeah. It was funny. I think back in college, I remember one of the parameters for our assignment is that we weren't allowed to use Helvetica
Oh,
because it
I
was
believe that.
so. Yeah, well, it was like, okay, you could use any typeface other than Helvetica.
Hmm.
Go at it. Yeah. Yeah. So are you? What project are you working on now? You've got a client you're working with?
Uh, I do kind of. It's more like finding a sofa. So that's all about it. The hunt for the perfect sofa for a small space, and it's taking a little bit, but that's okay. It's been fun. Other than
What
that,
are?
not.
Oh, go
Hmm.
ahead. Sorry,
No,
talking
go
over you
ahead.
again. I was just like say what are they looking for in their sofa?
Basically, something on the smaller side, but still could be used for a guest if needed. So that is a tall order because most sofas are going to be pretty big if it's a
Hmm.
sleeper sofa.
Hmm.
And if it's one that is on the smaller scale and a sleeper sofa, it will be a bit expensive. So it's kind of
All
trying
right,
to find the
I
middle
gotcha.
ground that
Yeah,
isn't a futon.
I hear you. I hear you. Right. So like it's a specialty item of the what you're looking for here, something that's
Yeah,
not
it
very
is.
common.
Yeah, it is kind of a specialty item trying to track down that one unique piece
Hmm.
for that one person.
There you go. Well, good luck with your hunt there.
Yeah, it's gotten close a couple times, but
Yeah.
then it's like, well, is it on sale? It's like, no, but it might be later kind of feeling. So,
Mm,
but it's all good.
there you go. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe somewhere down the line, I might be able to ask you for help with my space.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. You can always ask, and
Yeah.
there's nothing. I have no problem giving free advice. That's what a
No, no,
blog's
I
for
mean,
too. So you can check out my blog for some free tips and fun products.
I would want to. I would want to pay you for it. I don't.
I appreciate
I'm the
that.
I'm the kind of person like if I even my friends like who are really intelligent about for example, if we're working like talking about taxes, or if
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about certain aspects of business that I am completely unaware of, I'll at least I'll take them out for dinner, or
Oh yeah,
I'll
yeah, I get that.
do something of the sorts, because I don't believe in just, hey, let me pick your brain and not give you anything in return.
Well, I do have a
Yeah.
super secret donation spot. If you feel inclined to
Mm-hmm.
just throw me $1, because
Uh-huh.
and I did it only because I some people are like, well, I'd give you money, but it's like, okay.
Oh,
No,
here you
what
go.
happened
Here's
was
a
the
here's a
cops.
link.
Yeah, buy me. Yeah, but so what ended up happening is that I get people saying, I want to support, but I just don't have not in the position to need your services. It's like, well,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's fine. You don't need to need my services. You can just buy me a coffee. So
Uh-huh.
there you go. And you
Hey,
don't
look at
have to,
that.
you can select to sign up for our newsletter if you want. And it's all convenient and pretty simple.
There we
And,
go.
and
All
for the
right.
record, I had absolutely no idea that buy me a coffee was an actual thing. I was making a sincere joke.
So you
That's
wait a
just,
second. So you actually get a coffee for this?
I will totally. That's pretty much what I expect the tier to be. So can go through oops. We'll just do my fake emails. So here's
Oh,
your
look at
my joke one. You want to give me $1 million? You totally can.
that. There's got to be a couple of people that actually press that one. Oh my
Oh,
god.
how nice would that be if someone's like, this is a cool site. Here's $1 million,
All
or
right,
another
everybody out
amount
there
for
watching, find your millionaire friend.
right. But like I based it off actual like Ristorado, which I never say right, espresso longo, and lavoro, which is
Mhm.
like lavish in Italian. So it's a joke, guys. Don't worry
I
about it.
gotcha.
Most people will just click other anyway. So that's the
What's
fun
more than
part.
lavoro? Is there anything more than lavoro?
Yeah, other.
Other
But
double lavoro.
double, yep.
All right.
But yeah, but no, I was very amused to find that out that the BMAC is like an
Mm-hmm.
actual website thing somewhere on the internet. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
I
there it
was
is.
just being funny.
I see the private chat there.
Yep.
There we go.
So there you go. If you want to buy
I'll
me a
keep that
coffee,
open.
sir, at
I
some
will.
point, you totally can.
Off topic, but I'm making plans to go to the States.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gonna be going to the Vegas thing.
Cool.
Gary's whatchamacallit.
Meetup stuff.
Uh yeah, the meetup stuff. But yeah, I don't know exactly. I've never met any of the people there. I don't know. I kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, but I'm sure it's going to be completely different than what I'm expecting. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, looking forward to that, and I'll throw out the word to people while I'm there for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
to yeah.
I wish I could afford to go, but I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants these days. So
Yeah.
but that's
Well,
okay. I mean, at least I'm having a good time.
maybe if somebody give you a Lavoro, he'll be fine.
Right?
You can
I
hop on over
wish.
there.
Just gotta like get a little more chummy with the bigger names, talking heads around these parts. I guess I don't mean talking heads in an insulting way. I love that band, so I don't use that term tongue in cheek. Um,
It's a
so
good band.
it is, and I
Yes.
love that. I think it's funny to see how there are legitimate talking heads in these
Mhm.
circles now who are just like kind of important people, and it's interesting to see
Yeah,
how that's developed.
and I try to be an optimistic person as much as possible, but I wonder how long. I wonder how this is going to be in like 5 to 10
Just giving
years. You
it.
know what I mean? What's going to be happening with these circles of like the YouTube entertainment? Like, because what's really amazing is big time directors are having Twitter battles with little channels.
Yeah, well,
And it's because the channels are.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
Years and years ago, when a friend of mine, one of my very good friends, when he was starting to move up the ranks in his new career, pursuing like journalism, and he had worked for various websites, worked for a big name company, and now is starting his own company in the last year, and is doing well. So early on in that evolution, someone who would be perceived as a bigger name in the circles we were acquainted with had pretty much picked a fight with him, even though he was deliberately taking my friend out of context. And that person who picked the fight has completely disappeared off the face of the planet, as far as I'm aware. And my friend is doing very successful. So, you know, when people try to tear the little guy down, all you're really doing is giving them a bigger platform and more eyes on them. And eventually, they may surpass you. They could very well surpass you.
Well, I made a comment to, I can't remember the name of the guy who was involved with it. He was like, what is it? Nerd, My Nerdy Home. What, no, was it My Nerdy Home?
She? This isn't her real name.
No, not her. The guy that was interacting with the new Indiana Jones director. They got like a. Well, so I basically
was it that
a Salty Nerd. Thank you, Salty Nerd.
I saw that a bunch of that stuff going on there. I didn't know it was the context, but I knew he had.
Yeah, like, basically the director. Yeah, the director got into a big Twitter fight with him and was just like dogging all of the fandom. Like, you guys are just a bunch of basement dwellers, blah blah blah. It's like, whoa. Yeah, and then I just basically said, hey guys, we got to realize now they're not punching down at us anymore, or not me, about you guys. I'm not nowhere even close. They're not punching down. You guys, if anything, at least equal level, because obviously people are going to, if you ask the average person what kind of entertainment they go to, a lot of them are just going to say like YouTube, you know, watch YouTube videos.
Oh yeah.
Kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a YouTuber, you know, blah, 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 this and that. And it's like, hey, it's not, you're on equal grounds now. And it just goes to show you that,
like Eric July is a great example of that, because his whole story arc over the last 6 years has been very interesting, because he started out as a musician, just wanting to pursue music, got interested and more interested in economics after having gone to school for business, and started working passively with the Blaze. Now is like one of their primary contributors, whilst doing all his own shit. Which, like, it's just over the last year and a half, I suppose he's completely exploded. And he is literally on par with people who have been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
So for people to act like, I get that you're going to want to brush off these pissant fights on Twitter because it's a bathroom. Because let's get real. Twitter literally has only ever been a truck stop bathroom wall.
Yep. I love that analogy. I'm not gonna like take any credit. No, sorry, I'm not trying to like step on you anyway here. I literally, like maybe like a week before you wrote that on Twitter, I was no, not a week, a month. I was thrown in Twitter jail, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I was thrown in Twitter jail for a week.
Oh wow.
And I wanted to write on there, all Twitter is just a truck stop bathroom. And people are just writing all kinds of shit on there. And you guys are wanting to just take it off of there, wanting to scrub it. But you can't because they've used their knife and they've like cut into it. Yep. And I wanted to write that, but I was like, no, fuck it. I'm not going to write it. But I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking.
But I've said that for 10 years. Yeah. That's the crazy part. It's like, I've always said that. And for people to be like, take it so serious and get so worked up about it, it's like, it's just a big fat chat room, guys. It's fine. Yeah. It's just the replacement that is dying.
I think the difference, because I can't go over to Facebook anymore. So
I hardly use it. Also, I just shit post and my business.
All I do is I post my artwork.
Yeah.
And every
Pretty
once in a
much.
while, if I've had too much to drink, I might like say one thing. And as soon as I think the problem with Facebook is a lot of people from Facebook you've actually met in real life. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
And
I think
and you have,
it's
oh, sorry,
I
go
think
ahead.
it's mostly that it's just become QVC. In the last few years, it is literally just QVC. I go there to shop. I don't go there to
Mhm.
talk to people.
I, I,
So,
I, I I hardly ever interact. I just put up my artwork and people say it looks good. And I'm like, thank you. Arigato.
mhm.
Blah, 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 blah. But I'm like,
Yeah.
every once in a while, I'll like, okay, I just got to say one thing. And I say it. And it's like within 5 seconds, immediately, like people that I know and people are really good. I can't have this conversation with you. I just want to talk about like drinking and going out and having fun. I don't want to talk about this stuff with you guys at all. Yeah, at all.
So I
Like
don't talk to
zero.
you assholes anymore. No.
Yeah, no, that's the
It's
thing.
like
It's like we don't talk about that shit when we're hanging out together, and then all of a sudden, like on Facebook, and like who knows you're throwing out all this crap, this junk about people, like
mhm.
tearing them down, calling them all kinds of names. It's like, man, I could be like that. I could be one of those people that you're referring to right there. Like, you gotta, I don't know,
People just
you're
need to
treading
chill
on,
out.
yeah, big time,
They do. It's nuts.
big
It's
time.
like if you can't talk to people on the internet like you would in person, then you are a
Yeah,
coward. You are
yeah,
an
yeah,
absolute coward. Like I talk to people the exact same. I really do.
yeah,
And if there are things that I feel I should not say, I will not say them
yeah.
online or in person.
Yeah, I I I I hate confrontation. That's just the
Mhm.
way I've always been. I hate confrontation, but within the last couple of years, 4 or 5 years, no, especially 4 or 5 years, I've
Mhm.
just seen people. At first, I was looking at like, wow, people seem really angry about something that doesn't really matter at all. But it looks like they're
Mhm.
blowing a lot of it out of proportion, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. It's like, whoa, you guys, you need to just calm down here. You're taking things way, way, way too seriously, and you are, I don't know, this is going to be detrimental to friendships and
Yeah.
to society itself. This is going to be really, really bad if you keep on. And you just saw it on Facebook, and I didn't use Twitter until like a year ago. I didn't get on there.
I didn't.
Yeah,
So
but
I've had an account on Twitter
yeah,
longer than the one I have
yeah,
because I had one for about 6 months and I was compromised and it was like an old email and I didn't care and I just restarted. No big deal.
yeah.
So I've been on it for over 10 years. About up until last year, I hadn't used it at all.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's not true. I hadn't used it actively other than
Right.
spamming Spotify music and like review things to get points with a brand company doohickey. So, but actually use it, I didn't do so for about 5 years, other
Hmm.
than just sharing music.
Right.
So then all this shit went down. I was like, well, this seems like a convenient thing
Yeah.
to see when people use YouTube, I guess, because I never had
Right.
YouTube notifications on. I never have, and I never will. I'm just a horrible person like that. so, so it's been interesting to kind of relive the early years, but with so much more butthurt. Like Twitter
Hmm.
was really fun at one point. People were
Hmm.
just. It really was like hanging out in a bar and you just do your thing, and it was fun. And then the teenagers from chat rooms and like fucking Tumblr started using
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and it became just this sad suck
Yeah.
of people complaining and celebrities trying to act like, oh, I'm a real person. You totally can relate to me. It's like,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah. No, they're
sure we
not.
can.
Yeah.
We're all human, except you are the one who's forgotten that.
Yep. Big time. Big
So,
time.
but I mean, like, I can definitely point in the direction of things and people that are like what it was, and they still are because they aren't vulgar or they aren't
Right.
aggressive, so they
Right.
they just are the way they are, and have been for 10 years. So,
You could see genuine people on there. You have to sift through a lot of shit, but you can find the
mm-hmm.
genuine people on there. And that's what I see with you, and I've seen with like a few other people as well. Like, oh, these people are genuine. They're
Hey,
they're they are who they are, right? Like they're putting out there who they really are. And
mm-hmm.
that, like, I stayed off Twitter for the longest time just because, like Facebook, I wasn't on forever as well because it was a fad. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
So like, no, I'm not going to do it. Everybody else is doing it. And then I just waited and waited. It's like, okay, I'll break down and I'll go on there. And then, yeah, so I basically did the whole Twitter thing. I don't even know why I started. Why did I go on there a year ago? I think I was just checking out. It had to have been with like a YouTube connection with like
Because
something
that seems
along
to
with it.
be
Yeah.
the only reason most anyone uses it anymore
Yep.
is that
Yep.
you get YouTube notifications or whatever pretty easily.
Yeah. For nerdrotic stuff, Gary stuff, a lot of the times I don't get notifications on YouTube from YouTube notifications anymore. I have to literally go, and I'm subscribed to him and everything. And but yeah, I'll going around and I'm like, oh, they had their like him and Az had their BBC thing, and I didn't get any notifications whatsoever. And I have to go to Twitter to find the link, and I can't even find the link in YouTube. It's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so clunky. You'd think it'd be very convenient, but nope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, it's there's a lot of. I interacted when I first got on Twitter. I like there was a lot of interaction with those kind of. They had to be like teenagers or what have you, just
probably
bots or what have you. I was like, who are these people? They can't be real, whatever. And then I just stopped interacting with them. I just don't even interact with them anymore. If they say anything, I don't even give them the time of day.
That's what you should do. There's no point in giving attention to people who clearly are seeking it.
Yep. Until like there's like a every once I'll be an asshole if like some big or celebrity comes out and just starts trashing like white people or whatever. Just say, shut up. Just don't do it. Stop it. Or I just can't. I just don't understand. I was raised to. If somebody's skin was like a different color, it doesn't matter at all. It's not a subject that you don't. It's not something you concentrate on.
Right. I don't know why people fixate on nature while simultaneously wanting to tear it down and deny its existence. It's so weird.
Yep. Well, if we had a magic wand and voila, just make it all disappear and fix itself, that would be great. But I think it'd be really intriguing to see, like 5 to 10 years time, what's going to be happening with, Nerdrotics and Eric July as in the sorts. It'll be interesting to see what goes on there, like how entertainment shifts into a different. Because speaking of which, I don't know. Have you seen the movie The Lighthouse yet?
No, I'm not really interested. I really don't watch a lot of movies or shows.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't watch a lot of stuff either, anyways. But I kind of broke down and watched this one. It's all black and white. It is freaky. It is awesome. It's amazing. There's so much, just the visual components to it itself. The cinematography is just, it's outstanding. Like Alfred Hitchcock would be happy with this movie, kind of thing. And
that's
it's so surreal. It's so surreal. And there's a lot of, I actually haven't finished it. I've got like 10 more minutes to go, but it's been a long time since I've watched a movie and just been completely focused on the screen. Haven't looked at my cell phone. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get distracted, like just been straight, like really into it. But that was, well, it's one of those movies that gets stuck in your head. Now, I just don't trust a lot of movies and TV shows anymore. I'll go back and watch some old stuff, but like Loki and all that, no, I'm not even gonna give it the time of day.
Oh no, I've been done with the Marvel movie
done.
universe and whatever else for a very long time. When they decided to reboot Spider-Man, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then they do it again, and I'm like, okay, I really hate you people. I am actually done. And I know it's not like it's the same companies and blah blah blah, but it's just you can't get a very simple thing correct, and when you got close, you just decided to fuck it up anyway at the end. And it's just I just can't.
Yeah, I don't have the time to invest in that anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
a lot of people do it as a living. You know what I mean? That's their
Mhm.
job to invest their time in watching those, and relaying to the public like what their opinion is of it, and people take that for for gospel, and they hear their opinions and they make a choice whether or not they're going to watch it depending on that, and that is work that is very appreciated. But unless they were to tell me that it was just the most like amazing thing, I'm not going to even invest any time into it whatsoever.
Oh,
That's just
absolutely.
me.
Yep.
I've gone black pill on a lot of that stuff, but oh well.
Yeah. Well, I
But
mean,
now I
it's
have more
just
time to draw and paint, and I'm happy with
yeah,
that. Yep.
true. I just
And
don't
I
worry too much about it. Is all I guess.
yeah, that's good. It's good to like it's kind of I mean, in itself it could be kind of an addiction, being
Yeah.
hooked on.
I mean, I appreciate people's opinions,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't try some newer things. It's just for
Hmm.
the most part,
Hmm.
nothing is interesting. And even when people say, "Oh, but it's really good," it's like, yeah, but it's not for me. And like I can tell that just by the plot or theme or whatever. It's like I will do something else over here instead.
Yeah, it really takes a lot for me to like go, okay, am I going to watch that, or I've got my art section set up, I'm ready to draw. Okay, I'm just gonna go draw.
Mhm.
But something I'm really wanting to do right now is I'm doing all these sketches. I have like a bunch of reference photos of models and things. Um,
Mhm.
and I basically like see a model and I'll start drawing him or her or a combination. And as I'm drawing, this like image pops into my mind, and a story goes with it. And I'm not a master of the English language at all, but I would really like every time I'm drawing these, I'm like, I really like just to do like one picture and then a very short story to the side of it, like a really
Oh
short
yeah,
story,
yeah.
and make like a compilation of those.
That could be cool.
Yeah, I
You
don't know.
just have to I don't know if like Peter Smetty has like tutorials on how to lay things out, but
Hmm.
if he does, and then kind of like piggyback off of who else he suggests, might be a good way to start to figure out how to do that because that's literally his thing.
Who's
I'll
that?
turn a Peter Smetty. I think it's how it sounds. I forget how to say. Let me stop sharing the screen so I can.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. So let me just pull up. Um, uh, well, that is not what I wanted. Okay, that's okay. Oh, fuck me. Stop it. So that's
Peter
why I'm not
Smetty.
Smetty.
I know. I recognize the name.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh no, that's a baseball player.
Funny. There.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I got a site here of him.
Yep.
Bleeding Cool.
I don't know.
Peter
I don't know.
Smetty of Alternate Comics.
Yeah, Alter. Yeah.
Was
So he does have a YouTube channel and stuff too. So
okay.
that would be like his personal one might be a good option
All
versus
right.
the Alterna comics. I just never remember how to spell his last name.
Oh, it's Simeti.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I recognize that. Of course. I
Yeah.
noticed the icon there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
All
he
right.
probably has some like vague tutorials or things that could be helpful for page layout and whatnot.
He has an open mic on Monday, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
I have been tempted to go on there, but I get even talking about it right now makes me nervous.
Yeah, it takes practice. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
super good
Yeah.
with my elevator pitch, obviously, because it's so
Right.
involved and
Yeah.
so customizable and personal. I was like, how do I explain that to people so that they're interested and want to know more without being a windbag? Like I just don't. I have not yet got to the point where oh yeah, such and such, which where it's interesting and they want to know more. So oh, it sounds expensive is the response I get, which sucks because it's not compared to others.
Well, that's why I wanted to get you on here to talk about this.
Hmm.
I thought it might be good practice for you as well, like to
Yeah,
just
I
kind of
appreciate
go
it.
through it and yeah, explain it to a rookie novice like me, but to help me understand how it goes. And that way, whenever I see other people who might be interested in it, I can refer them to you.
Yeah, absolutely, and I
That's the
appreciate
networking.
it.
Yeah, no problem. Completely my pleasure. I think I might have to get going here.
You probably do. My goodness, it's been
It's
2 hours.
1:30. We've been 2 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
No, but, like
Um,
as always, it's been a real like joy to talk. And I'm sorry I let you do almost all of the talking just because you're a lot more. Uh, you have a lot more like, knowledge and expertise on things and know how to really like give the spiel. I just want to kind of give you the space to talk a lot, and I really
no,
appreciate
it's
that.
great. I
Yeah,
mean, that you're
yeah,
learning how this streamy stuff works, and
yeah, yeah. But
it's definitely a unique
yeah,
experience. So
I really don't want to like quit talking, but I
you
feel like
probably
my
need to
engine,
sleep.
yeah, my engine is kind of like going a little bit. I could probably go for another hour or two or something like that, but oh man, I didn't sleep at all last night. This is
Oh my
crazy.
goodness. Yeah, you probably
But
should try that a little more.
sleeping's for the dead.
Yeah.
Now I went through a period though where I was basically trying to go to bed by 11 or 12 every night, and that lasted
Mm.
for 1 week, and then I was
Oh
like, nah,
dear.
because I just feel at night like I can really work and I'm really
Hmm.
creative and productive, at nighttime because I don't have to worry about anything in the morning.
Right. No, I get
Right.
that. I
Yeah.
just have to sleep because medical things, and
Right.
that's how that goes. But nevertheless, it's been a fun chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll have to do it again if you're up for it. I'm
Yeah.
always yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
And
how organized you want to make this, but it's if you get other people to join, that could be a fun show.
yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I think I might try to get Brightest Day if you're out there listening because she's always in the chat and he's always trying to support us or whatever. If
Hmm.
you'd be up for it, or if there's anybody who you think would be interested and shooting the shit or
Yeah. Yeah.
what have you.
I really don't know most people's schedules, so just kind of
Like
put it out there in the ether and see what
yeah,
happens.
yeah. And also you have your YouTube channel. If you want to do it on your YouTube channel as well, that's more than
Sure. Yeah,
fine.
I do have my business YouTube channel where I sparingly put up video. I should try to put up a few more videos, but it's like I'd
Hmm.
only have my laptop, so talking to chat will be on my phone, and that's messy.
Oh well, I'll
Yeah,
take care of it then. You leave it up to me. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
I'll do those honors.
yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway,
but
we'll
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah,
It'll be a good
yeah,
time.
definitely. Yeah, and maybe I could work on I kind of like that the Jinja Talk thing. Jinja Talk sounds nice. Rolls off the tongue.
Yes. It's funny.
But if you have any ideas for that, or if you want to, switch up things, just let me know.
Hmm.
I can work on something else. But yeah, we'll yeah, call it a night then, or a day for you, night for
Day,
me.
yeah, midday.
Yeah,
You have a good one.
yeah, you too. Take it easy.
Yep.
Good luck over
Bye.
there.
You
Bye
too.
bye. Good night.